Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Dura Nur Nazira from History of Economic Thought Section 1. In this video, we will go deeper on the concept of Mudarabah and partnership. We will look on the Mudarabah and partnership from two different worldviews, which is from Islamic perspective and Western perspective. Before we go further, let me explain what is Mudarabah and what is partnership. To make it easy, let's use example to explain what Mudarabah and partnership is. Imagine, in this situation, we will have two persons, which is Khadijah and I. I will be the Mudarib and Khadijah will be the Rabbul Mal. Let's say now, we are planning to sell face masks during this COVID-19. As student, I might not have much money as the capital to buy face mask stock. Therefore, Khadijah, as Rabbul Mal, will provide the capital for me to buy 100 boxes of face masks from the supplier. As Mudarib, I must put all my effort to make sure all that 100 boxes will be sold. Means Khadijah only give me the capital, but I am the one who responsible for the entrepreneurship activity. Then, if Dura able to sell all the 100 boxes, Dura will pay back 500 capital to Khadijah, while if Dura not able to sell all the 100 boxes of face masks, Khadijah is the one who need to bear the loss and Dura will freeze in terms of time and effort. Meanwhile, in partnership situation, Dura and Khadijah, both of us will put money and equally contribute on the face mask selling activity. In terms of loss and profit, both of us will bear it together according to the pre-agreed ratio. Alright, now, let us move to the first worldview, which is on Islamic part. In this part, we will look on the relationship of Mudarabah and one Islamic contract, which is Wadi'ah. Let us see on Mudarabah with Wadi'ah, or also known as safekeeping. When Mudarabah receive fund from Rabbul Mal, they will be in the form of Wadi'ah and Amanah until he begin the business. Therefore, he must treat this capital with the same care that he treat his own goods, and any damage to the capital before beginning the end of year should the Mudarib pay if damage occur as a result of his negligence and carelessness. Next, let us see one Islamic scholar view on this Mudarabah concept. Here, I took Abdul Azim Islahi as one of the Islamic scholar. Let us see some profile and background on this great scholar. Abdul Azim Islahi is a professor at the Islamic Economics Institute, Jeddah. He was born on 1950 and now he is 71 years old. He has spent more than 30 years in research, teaching, and expanding the frontier of Islamic economics in the King Abdul Aziz University. He obtained his PhD from the Aligarh Muslim University, India. So, what is this scholar contribution? He suggested on future research of Islamic economics, which are to first expand the research and translation of works by the other scholars other than the commonly and repeatedly studied. Second, to investigate further the development and refinement of economic ideas and institutions in the history of Muslim that has yet to be explored. Next part, we see on the historical background of partnership based on Economic Partnership Agreement, or we call as EPA, between the EU and some African, Caribbean, Pacific countries, which called ACP. The EPA negotiation began in 2002 and all the ACP level and were developed to the regional level in 2004. The Commission knew exactly what it wanted to be comprehensive and aligned with WTO compliant trade agreement with the ACP's region, but they did not know how to integrate this aim with ACP's reality. Although negotiations started in 2002, the first 3 years went by very little improvement. Both parties were not able to meet the agreement on core principle. This was reflected, among other things, in the EPA's development aspect being interpreted differently. So, How can we integrate between these two worldviews? Let we see it in the perspective of Islamic banking or Islamic finance. There is a need for us to Islamize the model in which, in the real world, the cost of Islamic product is higher than the conventional one, whereby some Muslims rather to involve in riba in conventional institutions. An analysis of depositors' benefit rates in Islamic banks suggests that if risk factors were taken into account, believers would prefer traditional banks over Islamic banks. It may also be necessary to investigate how free bank depositor negotiations are, especially for smaller institutions. Finally, there is some interest among financial institutions in some of the core concepts underlying Islamic finance, especially the concept of profit-loss sharing. Many financial institutions will be unable to lend on this basis due to the issue with firm management, lack of familiarity with market conditions, and the ideas of risk sharing with borrowers. So, what is the effect of Mudarabah and partnership towards United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda? The UN Sustainable Development Agenda is also known as the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It has 17 goals that it's aiming to achieve by 2030. However, the partnership that the United Nations have included is being discussed on a global level where they aim to build on a culture of reinforced global solidarity with all countries, stakeholders and people participating, and focusing on particular on the needs of the poorest and the most vulnerable. Mudarabah and partnership will contribute in achieving those goals by strengthening institutions and pledging to mobilize financing. On the bigger scale of view, the financial market from a strong institution system will impact the economy, thus increase the overall nation productivity. I hope this short video may give an overview on the difference between Mudarabah and partnership. And I do hope that Islamic finance is not only being practiced in Islamic countries but will be implemented to the all around the world. That's all from me. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.